Alright, this is round 4. I'm playing green-red pummeler. My hand is mediocre, as are most of the hands with this deck. But we do have a Bristling Hydra, a pump spell, and a protection spell. And we only play 18 lands, so I'm going to keep the 4-lander, despite it not being the best. It's on the draw as well, so we have a chance to draw into more action. Let's turn down a bit. So this deck is kind of, I mean, like, it's high variance. So there's a lot of getting lucky here. And I'm not ignorant to that. I know I'm getting lucky. Okay, so we didn't have a creature to play into our opponent's open mana. Not sad about that. See what our opponent plays this time. A Rogue Refiner. With that on the stack, is it worth killing it? It's not even really worth killing it. But I suppose we just want to get it out of here anyway. So we have something to use our mana on. And we're going to yet another Temur deck. So, yeah, Temur is very good right now. If you don't play in the Temur colors, I hope you have a good excuse. Oh, Tracker. We're not playing as the same deck, are we? What is these Temur decks with mainboard trackers? Why is Tracker mainboard now? No one wants to play Shock anymore. Make Shock great again. Make not drawing lands great again. There's a lot of things that need to be made great again. America not being at the top of that priority list either. America's already pretty damn great. I mean, you guys got a lot going for you. Let's get all the lands out of our deck. Let's just take them all. Right. Here, I'm just going to attack. If he blocks, cracks twice, he'll be up to 5 power. I can Blossoming Defense to protect myself there, which I will do. I do argue it's still worth it. Let's pump once. Let's pump twice. Let's have our opponent pump again. Let's Blossoming Defense to make it big. Let's Invigorated Rampage to make it relevant. If I had an Invigorated Rampage, then the plus from Blossoming Defense would have sort of been wasted. I still want to leave some energy up though to so putting our opponent down to not insignificant amount of damage. We have 3 lands in hand, which isn't great. Exactly where you don't want to be when you're playing this deck. You sort of want to get to 5 lands and stop. You don't really want more than that. We've seen the nuts plenty of times today, but I suppose you guys have to see how the deck loses to. And the deck loses by flooding. It does not have a lot of flood mitigation. It doesn't have man lands, it doesn't have mana sinks. It doesn't have delve spells. Now, not having that trample spell is hurting me now, because I could have killed him. Possibly. I don't want to think about it because I haven't got it. Just going to start slogging it through these damn tokens. The good part is, our opponent might fear, may block with more than one Thopter. I don't know if I like that. I'm not sure if I like that play. I value the Virtuoso more than the Flyers. I understand that the Flyers get in, but they're only 1 toughness, so they don't really mitigate the trample damage. However, we're just waiting to draw a trample spell. That's what we need to draw to win this game. And I'm just at the mercy of the top of my deck, really. What else is new? Opponent attacks with 1 Thopter, 2 Thopters. What is the difference between 1 and 2 Thopters attacking? In for a penny, in for a pound, I say. Alright, what's our opponent going to show us? That he's the combo deck. Okay, this is good. We haven't got to play against this one yet. We are going to play Pummeler out because we haven't got time to mess around with it. Okay, team, the gig's up. We haven't got a trample spell. He knows it now. That's fine. That's not how we're winning the game anyway. We win the game by finding a trample spell. And nothing less. He has enough mana to play Felidar Guardian, flicker a land, play Saheeli Rai. Which is upsetting, but you don't have a right to be upset when you're playing Pummeler, because you're probably one of the worst guys. He hasn't got Saheeli Rai, because he's going to flicker Rogue and go looking for her. A stand corrected, he had it, he just wanted to get more value. Because that's what Saheeli Rai players would do. Okay, we're going to concede. I don't need to watch my opponent go through this. I know what's up. So Implemented Combustion is the card that we're supposed to bring in against this deck. Greenbelt Rampager is also okay because it applies pressure quite early, but I think we're already very aggressive. So what we need to be focusing mostly on is ways to protect our creatures. So Heroic Intervention is going to be useful to complement Blossoming Defense. And Implement is going to come in to complement our Harness Lightnings. The hard part about this matchup is figuring out what the cuts are. And the cuts are probably going to start... We want all our trample spells. It's hard to cut trample spells against this deck. Blowing that Invigorated Rampage was a really bad play. I think you want to keep at least one... You want to keep at least one trample spell in case you draw an Uncaged Fury, most of the time. Long Tusk Cubs are good because they're low to the curve. I like it. The thing is, I like most of the deck. I like most of it. I'm going to cut 2 Rush of Adrenalines. I'll cut 1 Servant. Or 1... Can't really cut mana sources though in this deck. Trim 1 Long Tusk. How do we make room for these interventions then? Got the implements. Is this just too many then? Is this too many slots for this deck? This might be too many slots for this matchup. We're on the play too, so we don't need that as much. We're at 58 seconds. Let's just play one intervention. They don't really have many sweepers. I will play first, yes. This hand is got a pummeler in it, so we'll keep it. Also got an implement that we can cycle. And that can protect us from the combo. The big risk here is we might not get enough lands. The Magic Online, being the Magic Online that it is, might not give us many lands, because it gave us lots of lands last time. It may consider that we've used our quota of lands for the matchup. Luckily, that's not the case. I will definitely play lead on Servant of the Conduit as well. Let's keep developing our mana while we can. Wouldn't be surprised to see a Harness Lightning here. The thing is, you can't really be too defeated with Harness Lightnings on your early creatures. The whole purpose of these early creatures is to, like, take a beat so this guy can get in and just do what a pummeler does. Okay, so here we are. Aether Hub's a great draw. Because now I get to play a pummeler, or we can play a brawler. We don't have a trample for the pummeler. He hasn't played a creature yet. He hasn't got energy. And he's tapped out. There's a lot of argument for pummeler here. Sorry if I'm going to take a little bit of time on this because it's... The consideration is I'm going to tap these three, play a pummeler, we've got to mountain up to pop this. Actually, no, you tap these three and you hold both colours up so you have Blossoming Defense plus this up. Alternatively, we want a Long Tusk Cub with a Blossoming Defense up. We're not tapping this Aether Hub, that's for sure. We definitely want we want Implement to be active for this. I think it's a good time to pummeler. If we draw a trample spell, he's in a world of hurt. An absolute world of it. So we'll play our pummeler out. Say okay. Pass the turn back. Tamiyo is pretty frustrating. Taps 2 creatures. So we're Blossoming Defense to prevent that. Okay, so that's not the worst draw in the world. Let's attack Saheeli. Could attack Tamiyo. Pump once to finish her off. Or do we just check Saheeli? Let's attack Tamiyo to stop her from minusing again. Her minus is pretty frustrating. Slows us right down because it doesn't untap until the next untap step. Alright, so we've got enough to implement plus blossoming defenses, so that's pretty cool. Ooh. Ah, this is so good for our opponent. This is so good for him because we'll definitely cast this. Stop this from going. This is really good for our opponent because he could just play Felidar Guardian out of his hand and we're just dead. Which is fair game. Like, you can't be mad about that. I think it's a great sideboard card. A lot of people aren't playing Burrell's Expertise anymore. We won't redirect to Saheeli. We will redirect to Tamiyo. Try to take her out. But if he's got Guardian here, then fair game. Like, GG's. He does, yeah, okay. That's fair enough. A lot of these Guardian decks aren't playing Barrel's Expertise anymore. But the fact of the matter is, so he could have, for the real Wombo combo, he could have a Dispel now. But a lot of people aren't playing this Barrel's Expertise anymore, but it dealt with my implement of Combustion, which he would usually not be able to beat. Because what had happened is, he would minus now, so Saheeli goes 2-1. And for those of you that don't know this, I'm sure most of you that do watch this probably already have knowledge of it. But with Implement of Combustion, what you do is, at this point here, Saheeli Rise minus on the stack, break Implement, and it's not casting a spell, so they can't counter it. They can disallow it though. But if they don't have disallow mana up, you can just ping them, take away Saheeli Rai, and the combo is interrupted. But as it stands, our opponent just got us. So that's game. He's going to combo out, make 1,000 Felidar Guardians, and attack with haste. So, losing to that deck just then sort of making me think again. Maybe that's a shock, and that's a shock, and you just play like this nice little 2-2-2 split to give your deck a bit more leniency there. Because if I knew I'd had shocks in my list, then I probably would have cracked my implement looking to find a shock. But I know I don't play it, so can't really do anything about that. Anyway, we're 4-1, which is better than a deck like this probably should be. I'll see ya for game 3.